So, thank you. Roll call for the Recreation and Parks and Cultural Affairs Council Committee. Tom Keegan. John Kites.
Yep.
Here.
Dan McMurray.
Here.
And Lisa Shanahan. And not with us are Nicole Ayers as of yet, and Josh Goldstein, and of course I am here. So next, there you go. Nicole Ayers is here with us. Nicole, is that you on? Oh, okay. Great, we just did roll call. So can I have approval for the January 12th, 2022 minutes? A motion to approve. Lisa Shanahan. All in favor? Please say aye. No,
Aye.
show hands. Show of hands is fine. Abstentions? Thank you. Do we have anyone on for public participation, Delane? I don't believe so.
We do, but I think they're probably here just to speak on an item because nobody's raising their hand.
So we're going to move on to new business. The city of Norwalk.
Actually, Darlene, hold on a second. I take that back. We have a Colleen Pratt that's raising her hand, so I'll allow her to talk.
Yes, thank you.
Colleen?
Yes. We're from Norwalk Karting Association.
Are you on the agenda?
Yes.
So when we call your item, when we read your item, then you can speak then if you
Okay.
like.
Okay.
The city of Norwalk reserves the right to cancel the event for public health or safety reasons as determined by the city of Norwalk in its sole discretion. The city of Norwalk shall not be liable for damages arising from the cancellation of the event. Item 5.1, approve the use of Veterans Park Memorial and immediate surrounding grounds by the Norwalk Police Emerald Society for their Norwalk St. Patrick's Day Parade to be held on Saturday, March 12th, 2022 from 11 a.m. to 11:15 a.m. set up to begin at 9 a.m. with tear down at 11:30 a.m. Approximate attendance, 50 people. Someone move the item?
I'll move it.
Thank you, Ms. Shanahan. Do we have anyone here
Should be.
to speak? No? Is there anyone here to speak on that? Okay. Ken, are there any concerns that we've had with this? Not really, right?
Robert, you want to? Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have any concerns with this. It's a lot of these events, we didn't do during COVID. These are annual events, and we can see there's not a whole
lot of people at this one.
people
Yeah.
in this one at all. So we're good with this.
Okay. Does anyone on the committee have any questions? Nope. All in favor? Raise your hand. Thank you. And I apologize, Robert. I always say Ken because I know that he's the man on the ground for us.
No,
He's seen it all.
Yeah, that's good. He's always here to fill in the gaps for me anyway.
Yes,
so.
absolutely. So item 5.2, approve the use of Calf Pasture Beach parking lot and immediate surrounding grounds by the Norwalk Karting Association for their go-kart racing club event to be held on the following Saturdays during spring. March 12th, 19th, 26th, April 12th, 16th, 23, 30, May 7th, 14th, 21st. And we're going to add to that, right, Ken? This is the one we need to add the fall sessions as well, which is September 10th, September 17th, and 24th, October 1st, 8th, 15th, 22nd, 29th, November 5th, and the 12th. From 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Set up to begin at 7 a.m. with tear down at 4:30 p.m. every Saturday. Approximate attendance, 70 people. Would someone move the item? Thank you, Jen. And do we have, is that the Pratts to speak to
Yeah,
that?
yes, yes. It's Tom and Joe from North Harding.
You mentioned the date, September 10th. I think September 10th is the Oyster Festival. So I think we were taking that date off of the schedule.
Can you just give us a brief, for the new council members, just a brief overview of your event?
Yeah, so we're a go-kart racing club. 2021 season was actually our 50th year racing here at Calf Pasture Beach. We're a family-oriented club. In the past, we've had events. We've had where we had like police versus the fire department come in, just a fun day. We've had Mayor Rilling. We had a mayor's cup race. He came down. I think we did that 2 years. It's a lot of fun. It's not a huge membership, but it's great for the kids. We teach them, we're big on sportsmanship and, and respect and all that. And what we do is we race every week that we race. You have one practice session, and then you have 2 qualifying sessions, and then you have a feature race. And every time you race, you get points depending on where you finish. And all those points are accumulated at the end of the season towards a championship in your class. And then what we do is we have a big awards banquet. At last few years, it's been at Shorehaven Country Club with a DJ. It's just a lot of fun. Everybody getting together to celebrate the previous season and celebrate the champions. That's pretty much the crux of it.
Thank you, Mr. Pratt. Any questions for Mr. Pratt? What's the age range?
We actually start drivers 5 years old is the earliest. And as long as somebody's physically capable, I mean, we've had people mid-60s racing and winning championships, very successful. It's takes a lot of skill. You got people that have been driving for a lot of years. And, yeah, that's another point. We've actually had almost a dozen racers that started at Norwalk Karting Association that have gone professional to all different levels of racing: NASCAR, open wheel cars, modified races. So it's a good technical track. Just a lot of fun. It's a great, it's a great place to start out, and it's a fun hobby.
Thank you. All in favor? Please raise your hand. Opposed, abstentions? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Pratt and others, Mr. Tom and Joe. Item
right.
3.
We're all set then?
Yes, you are.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
5.3 is going to be removed from the agenda to the next committee meeting. So 5.4, approve the use of Matthews Park and immediate surrounding grounds by Triangle Community Center for their Pride in the Park to be held on Saturday, June 11, 2022, from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Set up to begin at 8 a.m. with tear down at 9 p.m. Approximate attendance, 7,000 people. Someone move the item? Ms. Shanahan? Who do we have on? Oh. Hello,
Hello,
who are we speaking with?
you're speaking with Sydney Hink from Triangle Community Center. I'm the Director of Programming.
So you want to tell us a little bit about your event, please?
Sure. So Pride in the Park has been in the Norwalk community for, I believe, about 8 years now. It's our largest event, and it's one of the larger Pride events within the state of Connecticut. We anticipate it attracting approximately 7,000 people, and this includes all ages, including families. We intend to bring in lots of vendors as well as business to the town of Norwalk.
Any questions?
I just have a
So
comment. I just have
ahead.
a comment. You know, these these Pride events are done all over the country, and certainly they here in Norwalk they've been done for quite a while. I'm from Seattle, so we have one of the biggest, and so I'm just you know, just want to compliment the organizers, because they're usually large and fun events. So yeah, and they will be required, and they are working on their special events permit. So 7,000 or more people.
Thank you, Mr. Stowers. And my question was going to be along the lines of what you just mentioned. So did you do it? We had this last year?
So last year
Yeah,
it
right?
was virtual due to COVID concerns and wanting to keep the community safe. So we will be returning after a very brief COVID absence. We have put in our special event permits, and we'll be putting in all the other required permits for various parts of the festival.
And the 7,000 is generally normal attendance
Yes,
from prior years. Okay.
yes.
All right.
So we're using that as the estimate.
All in favor? Opposed, abstentions? Thank you. 5.5, approve the use of Veterans Park Memorial and immediate surrounding grounds by Norwalk Seaport Association for their Oyster Festival to be held Friday, September 9th, 2022 to Sunday, September 11th, 2022. Set up to begin on Friday, August 19th, 2022, with tear down no later than Friday, September 30th, 2022. Approximate attendance, 40,000. Would someone like to move the item? Thank you, Mr. Moore. Mr. Stowers? I mean, this is something that's been around forever, so.
Yeah, it's been around. Ken can speak a little bit more to this. He has a lot of experience with this particular event. So I don't
They
know.
know to be here?
Yeah, they should be on. Is Cherry
Yeah.
on or Mike? Nobody's there, Delene? There we go.
And Mike.
Great. Hi, Mr. Riley.
We got you. Mike, you muted.
How you doing? We're very excited to be out doing the Oyster Festival again. And if you have any general questions, myself or Jerry would be happy to answer any.
I have to say right off the bat, we're very excited to have it back. So
Thank you.
I think it will be a great, hopefully a great summer, and having you all kick that off again to some sense of normalcy is fantastic.
Well,
So
that's
I don't
what we're
know
looking
any-
for. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Any other comments from council members?
Welcome back. Yay.
Thank you.
Okay, all in favor? Opposed, abstentions? Okay, thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
You know what,
Thank you,
Mr.
Mike.
Riley, I want to just ask you, is there, and I
Yes.
should have just asked this before, so is your setup going to be the same, or are you kind of scaling back a little bit, or you're kind of playing it by ear because we just don't know?
It should be the same as it's been. It should be the same as it's been.
Okay,
No major changes.
okay, we're going to hold you to that too, right?
Yeah. You
All
did
right.
well last year. Yep, thank you.
Good. 5.6, approve the use of calf pasture and Taylor Farm parking lots and immediate surrounding grounds by the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society for their LLS Light the Night event to be held on Saturday, October 8th, 2022, from 5 p.m. to 11:59 p.m., set up on Friday, October 7th, 2022, at 8 a.m., with tear down on Saturday, October 8th, 2022, by 11:59 p.m. Approximate attendance, 1,000 people. Someone move the item? Thank you, Ms. Ayers. Okay. Someone here to speak to that?
Hi, I'm Michelle Fanwick, and thank you for having me here today. We have had our event there until COVID, and it's been a phenomenal opportunity, and we're looking forward to it. It's an opportunity to help other people, and it's a great community to do it in.
Robert, any comments, or Ken?
No, it's, as she stated, it's an annual event. The walk is for a good cause, and of course they had a break in terms of COVID, but they're back out, and it's good to see festivals and parades and runs and walks back out, making, as the chairman said, making things a little bit more normal. So we're pleased with that. Again, the special events permit is required, and so they'll be working on that.
Any questions for Ms. Fanwick? Okay, all in favor?
We've
I'm
started,
sorry, Ms. Fanwick. I'm sorry, Ms. Fanwick, you were to say something?
yeah, we've started the process for the special events permit. And as we're able to, you know, as we get closer, we'll get it completed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for
All in
having
favor?
me.
Opposed, abstentions? Great. Good luck. Thank you. 5.7, approve the use of Veterans Park launch ramps by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service Boat and Veterans Park Memorial. Someone move the item? Thank you, Mr. Keegan.
Robert, you want me to explain?
Yeah, Ken, what you do, because I don't think these folks are here, because
No, okay, so,
Ken's gonna speak on their behalf.
yep, so Madam Chair, this has been we've had this for the past, actually since I've been here. I don't think it happened last year due to COVID, but we have a US Fish and Wildlife vessel that docks for the summer over at Veterans Park. And the staff actually stay on the vessel. They do research in the harbor. They check out our islands. They do research on the islands. They report back to us any deficiencies on the islands. We don't have our own boat, so we use this opportunity to have them be our eyes and ears on the ground on the islands. And they also keep an eye on our park because they stay on the boat overnight, which helps us during the busy season. So it's a great relationship. Like I said, we had this relationship since I've been here. We didn't have the request last year due to COVID, but we did get the request again this year, and we're happy to have them.
Any questions for Ken or Mr. Stowers? No? All in favor, please. Opposed, abstentions, great. All right. 5.8, authorize the purchasing agent to issue a purchase order to Gengrass Ford for a 2022 Ford F550 dumping rack body truck in an amount not to exceed $56,349, sole source state contract number 19PSX0161 from noted accounts. Someone move the item? Lisa, Ms. Shanahan? I was like, oh my God. Okay. Mr. Stowers?
Yeah, this is a request that we had in the 2020 budget. It was delayed. The spending was delayed during COVID, of course, for obvious reasons. Spending was kind of delayed, but now we want to go ahead and spend the money. It's been set aside to go ahead and purchase these vehicles.
All in favor? Opposed? Well, we're all in favor. There we go. We moved that. 5.9, authorize the purchasing agent to issue a purchase order to Jen Grass Ford for a 2022 F-250 with service body in an amount not to exceed $58,528.90, sole source state contract number 19PSX0161, account number noted. Someone move the item? Thank you, Ms. McMurray.
This is the same issue. We had the money in the 2020 budget, and delayed the spending, and we're going forth and spend. The reason why it's sole source is because this is a blanket contract that the state has, and it's specifically for municipal vehicles. So, so that's why it's sole source.
Questions for Mr. Stowers? All in favor? Thank you. All right, so that concludes our agenda items. So we'll move on to item 6, discussion. So do we have something that you'd like to discuss with us under this?
Yeah, we're getting some movement on the master plan process. There'll be a letter that'll go out that the mayor signed today to public officials. The consultant will be interviewing each and one of the council people. Also a letter will also go out to the public, inviting them to be in various focus groups. We also have selected some stakeholders around and tried to diversify those in terms of, trying to represent the whole community. So we've searched wide and deep to include, organizations that are serving youth, and minority youth, and youth all around. The YMCA. We also search the business community for. There'll be some focus groups that will be interviewing some of our civic leaders. Also the mayor's office, and we really want to do a real deep engagement into the community, because this is an opportunity to get really a handle on what people really want for their recreation in Norwalk, and in terms of just the whole gamut. Facilities, parks, to service the programmatic end of things, and what kind of programs we want, what kind of sports we want, facilities. It's going to be a pretty comprehensive master plan. I don't have the schedule before me here, but it's going to, I think your interviews are going to begin on the 21st and go through the end of the month. So they'll be sending a schedule for you, for the council people to sign up for the slots. And so that should go out next week sometime. But we're moving ahead on the master plan in public engagement. And so I'm thrilled at that. Sometimes it takes some time to get answers from folks, and our consultant has also, him and his family have been really ill for the last 2 or 3 weeks. So we're a little behind, but that's okay. It allowed us to search a little deeper, wider, get more people involved. So that's what's happening on that front. On the certification that we're working on for to get accredited through the National Parks Recreation Association, we've developed 5 teams to work on a gap analysis. There's 154 standards that we have to meet. 35 are core standards that really are the topics for the other standards. And we've broken up those teams, those standards, into 5 overall areas, where we picked 2 co-leaders to to do the work of identifying where we have the gaps in our standards and identifying which standards we meet and which standards we don't meet, so that we can make our initial application to the accreditation team for the National Parks and Recreation Association. The first application is to say, this is where we are, and this is what we need, where we need to be in terms of this is what we need to do. And then they give us, I believe it's 2 years. Ken and Sandy, we went through an initial orientation just to get down some of the timelines. And at the time we make the initial application, we can also, they will also assign a mentor to us to get through this process. We're not required to use the mentor, but I've always learned it's wise. So so we're moving ahead on the planning for the gap analysis and for the accreditation and the master plan. And so I'm pretty excited that we're getting some cooperation. So any questions?
And this might be a great time, given the efficiency study, to maybe glean some information from that while we're working on this master plan to really come up with a strategic plan for the recreation and parks that'll have some teeth and some legs and really move us in that right direction. So the timing is pretty good, I think, for us with this. Did anyone have any questions or comments? Or
Yeah, I just was wondering what you think the time frame is for having a master plan on your desk.
Well, I would think we would hopefully have a draft by fall.
That's
and for everybody to peruse and get their comments and hold a public meeting, maybe several public meetings, so we can introduce the master plan and get some feedback from the public. Maybe 2 or 3 meetings in different parts of the city, hopefully. Whether it's virtual or in person, we don't know, but we'll see what COVID does, how it's going to do its thing. So, I think by the end of the year, I would think we would have a final draft. So that's what I'm.
I have one second question. So there's a lot of conservation groups and whatnot in the city. Darlene knows a number of them. Do you feel like you have a pretty comprehensive list, or would you like some help with some of those names of people to reach out to who've been working in the parks?
Yeah, we can still use some names, because what they're going to do is they're going to send out a blast, just a blast, but they want extra names, even if we have, because in focus groups you could have 15 people that you send out and three show up. So we need as many names as possible. And I've talked to some of the groups that the Teen Coalition. I got some from that Lamont was Darlene and Lamont kind of geared me toward. And so I've been just talking to different Chamber of Commerce. I've just been around, but yeah, certainly we can use more. I think we're a little short on the environmental.
I can help you with that.
Focus groups. Well, I have you on there, but I think we're 3 or 4 people short on there.
Yeah, I can help with that. I know that some of
Okay.
them, for instance, in Rowayton, the Rowayton Gardeners have been taking care of some of the the Norwalk City parks. So I know that they've been wanting to come chat with you now that you're in your seat. So
Okay.
we can put some of those people in touch with you about that.
Certainly
And
will.
Darlene, should I send the list to you and Robert? And
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
You'll put it on that list. Mr. Kaides, do you have anything?
Sure, I guess seeing that you're asking. Has this group that's conducting the study been made aware that they will probably have little to no funding to accomplish any of the goals that they set forth? I ask because maybe, at this point we can maybe give them direction to give us like the budget version. So maybe perhaps we can actually do something with that comes out of this master plan.
Well, yeah, I completely 100% agree with you that, without a funding mechanism to implement a master plan, which usually comes in the strategic plan, which will begin as soon as we get the master plan. Without a funding mechanism, it really isn't that useful. But
Study.
I'm hopeful, but I'm hopeful that we can have a funding mechanism. I don't think you can fund a master plan or a strategic plan through a general budget. So people will have to make some decisions on an alternative funding method. And when I came here, that's the point I made in my interviews. If you do a master plan without a funding mechanism, it does us no good. In Seattle, we developed a master plan, and I think we were doing it in conjunction with San Francisco. And San Francisco is kind of a sister park department that they visit us, we visit them, their senior teams, and we discussed a lot of different strategies. But one of the things when we did our master plan, we knew we couldn't implement it without a funding strategy. So our first step was to create a park foundation, which is a nonprofit arm that raises money outside of the general fund and is not tied to the city. So they are nonprofits, so they can raise money. The next thing we did, over several tries, went to the state legislature to get a authority, along with the consent of the mayor, authority to do a park district. So the park district now brings in park department an additional $69 million a year this year, which is to implement the master plan and it's for deferred maintenance. Even though we're out there every day, Ken's people do a great job. They do all they can do. There's a lot of deferred maintenance out there. And someone's got to pay attention to it eventually, or it'll make you pay attention to it. So you have to have a funding mechanism, whether it's a foundation that has some of your top people in terms of status, money, whatever, that raises money, or you have to have a capital campaign, or you've got to come through somehow, with a form of a local tax for your parks. Other than that, you're never going to get a master plan done through the general fund. Can't hardly even get any staff out of the general fund.
I appreciate your honesty. Perhaps in your time with us, I would love to see you kind of implement that, even if you're, even if you don't, see it all the way through and it takes.
Oh yeah. One of the things I know.
Yeah.
One of the things I know, I didn't mean to cut you off, John. One of the things I've known because of my long career, when you have a long career, you see things actually happen. A lot of people get frustrated and leave, right? But in my long career with the master plan at the Seattle Aquarium, it came to fruition. I've seen the park district come to fruition from the idea of developing a museum district tax for the zoo and the aquarium. We didn't do it. We did it a different way. We went the capital funding route, but the Parks Department took our idea and when I got there, and we did the park district. So it takes 4 or 5 years to get it going. And yeah, you're probably right. I may not see we may not see the end of it, but we want to start it. We want to get it going for someone to enjoy. Someone, maybe the next 3 or 4 directors up won't have a hard time getting money. So,
right, exactly. And I see plans are usually a way for, I guess, the city to kick the can down the road and just basically be able to point to and say, hey, look, we're doing something about it. We know you're asking, we're doing something about it, but in reality, we're not really doing much of anything besides kicking the can down the road.
That's right.
So I appreciate your honesty and being forthcoming with it.
Yeah.
I like what you're saying. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Ben, do you have any questions, comments?
No, thank you. I appreciate the master plan. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm going to be asking questions in our finance committee meeting tomorrow about the operating budget. I know that's kind of off topic, but I want to see that broken down to see what you all are getting in the recommendations from Mr. Dakowitz. So that'll be something I'm asking tomorrow night in our committee meeting. I'm looking forward to continuing that discussion and supporting you all.
Jen. Tom? Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I'm kind of segueing from what Jen was saying about operating budget. I think our whole committee is committed to trying to get extra personnel for Robert and for Ken's staff. So I'm looking, what should our strategy be? What can I do individually to try to make that happen? Or is there anything that we're planning on doing as a committee?
I'll jump in and say, I think attending that meeting, finance committee meeting, I think, and getting a clearer understanding of what monies have been set aside to support recreation and parks, because I think it all fell under DPW and it didn't break out what percentage of that, what monies were being directed specifically to recreation and parks. I think that's the first place that we need to start. And once we see that, kind of decide how we can kind of help support what we feel this department needs. So I think we need to start there. And I think after that, you know, we've got opportunities for public hearings, making this something that people can voice, you know, their concerns about. But I think let's start there. And I think, as you said, the committee fully supports that. And I think Recreation and Parks has the full support of all council members. And so how do we now use that to get some results here for Recreation and Parks?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to make sure we keep it, you know, on our radar, and that's something that I believe is extremely important for, as I said, Robert and Kent, so that they know we're supporting that effort to try to put those couple of positions onto payroll. And I get lucky, I'm on all the committees, so I will be at finance.
Oh, that's right. Lucky you, right? You will be there.
I will.
And
Thank you.
Thank you for calling me last, but both Councilman Keegan and Councilwoman McMurray spoke to something that I was concerned about in regards to the future of the recreation and parks. And on the council side, I just really want to say to Mr. Stowers and Ken Hughes that the work that you guys have done and collectively do does not go without us noticing it. You guys are really a good, strong team, and our city is very fortunate to have your passion and your expertise here with us. I know we talked about it, it has been passed on the council, but I also just want to take a note and say thank you about the money that we received from Matthews, Cranberry Park, that grant, and how that just helps. As we are in the budget season, it's helpful when we get those little things that help us move money around, because we do want to be supported to all departments, but it gets kind of hard. So I just want to thank you for your efforts going up and beyond to bring that to us in a timely manner, and for you guys that you continue to work as a team. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was a wonderful way to wrap up our Recreation and Parks Committee meeting. So I knew what I was doing. So I don't think we have anything else to talk about. We do have a lot to talk about, but not at this meeting. So I think we all need to attend that Finance Committee meeting just to see where we fit in, where Recreation and Parks is fit into this budget. And so if we don't have any other business, can I have a motion to adjourn? Both of you did it at the same time. So Miss Ayers, makes that motion. All in favor? All right. Thank you, everybody.
care.
Thank you, Delene.
Thank you.
Have
You're
a good
welcome. Have a
night.
great
Have a
night.
good night.
Bye.
Bye.